10 hours of swamp sounds. Mostly I think that the crickets and the frogs and stuff make them hungry. They're sitting there listening to that thinking, you know, if I could just find that damn cricket, I would eat him. Trust me, I know my turtles, they would eat him. I should be quiet. They're having a nice moment. I did their tank today, so their tank is in good shape. They haven't been treating each other bad, they've been treating each other good. As you can see, I can see all the way to the bottom of the tank. It's nice and crystal clear. So, and they do like that. They do like that. I hate the way that part on her back looks. Poor girl that carries shell damage. They carried shell damage from their former life until I was able to change their diet. Receiving the wrong diet, they'll have lifetime deformations of their shells. There's no way to reverse it. I can only arrest it, stop it from happening. So at least I've got them to that point. Makes me sad in a way, but then I guess in another way it makes me happy that I was able to help them and get it to stop. You know, as I guess some people do that and keep these turtles until they you know, outgrow and they throw them away and throw them in the river. That's why you're not supposed to keep red spiders, because they're afraid you're going to toss them in the river. Of course, they do real well there. They won't have any natural enemies here. And, you know, they take over, so they're pushy little turtles, you know. They don't mean to be, you know. They choose violence. It's just in their nature. But you can see some of that deformation in the back of her shell. What I'm talking about. You can see the 3 quadrants right there, and they're in bad shape, but they've always been in bad shape, and they always will be, because they'll be deformed like that forever. And there's nothing I can do to reverse it. You can't reverse it once it's happened. It's happened. As you can also see, you can also see that below that markings there is where pyramiding had started too, and pyramiding is when one section bubbles up, and you can see that happening there, and then the pitting behind it on her shell as well. And that's Waffle, you know, and she was one of the most active ones, and you know, they form her own. They're one of his favorite ones, supposedly, and he just wasn't really aware that he was, you know, mistreating them. He wasn't aware that he was doing that, because I'm certain, you know, that knowing that he wouldn't have done that. But of course, you know, I always say, once you take a little animal into your care, you're responsible for giving it life. So you want to give it the best life you can, you know. Try to provide it something. It's your responsibility, you know, once you do that. I mean, you know, can you imagine how kind of odd you're picked up out of nature by this creature and taken to a strange place, and, you know, given strange rituals, and, you know, your life is never what it was supposed to be. And I can never turn them back, because they've been domesticated so long, all their lives now. So, and of course I'm not exactly sure how old they are, although their lifespan, they will live into their 80s. So I don't know, maybe they still seem to be youngsters to me. So I'm guessing that they're still in their 20s. My girls are in their 20s, and I think they're all somewhere near age, the same age, because it seemed that they were taken together whenever he took them out of the wild. So he took the 3 of them, and one of them is smaller than the others, and he always thought that that was a male turtle. And when I first got him, I did too, because of course there's the thing of the sexual dimorphism, which is that the female is, larger than the male. And my other last turtle, Gammy, who is a Mississippi map turtle, now they have the largest dimorphism of any animal. Not even turtle included, but of any animal. So it's like the males are these little quarter-sized turtles, and the females are big 2-foot round monsters, and the males and the females, they just get along with that. They don't care. It's just the way they are. So turtles have this dimorphism thing going on with them. So when I first got them, I thought that I had 2 females, which are these girls up there, and that's Waffle and Pancake. Pancake, of course, is up there in the light. She is the queen mother of all of them. I mean, she's not their mother, but she's like the queen of the tank, because she's the large one. She's larger than the rest, which I would say that makes her older than the rest. She's a little bit older. So her and Waffle, they're kind of close to each other in age. Now, Zippy, when Zippy first came, don't see Zippy, so Zippy must be sleeping somewhere. Maybe we can wake him up. And I see I'm still misgendering poor Zippy, because I totally believe now that Zippy is a girl, and that I'm lucky, extremely lucky, to have 3 female turtles. Because if I did have one male, if one of these turtles was a male, then the females, of course, would fight over him, and they're very territorial. So when red sliders reach a certain age, there's certain people I've listened to online and stuff in my research that say there's no way around it. You have to separate them, because they will kill each other. If they're the same sex, they have territorial issues. They can't be close to each other, so they'll kill each other to achieve that. And so I'm always looking out for that. If the girls start to fight, if that becomes an issue, if they start to do that, then I'll have to separate them. But so far, we don't have any. We have no infighting. So the girls are getting along. They don't fight with each other much. They do get up here and they fight over the light and the platform, and I've shown them where they do that, and they push each other around, and they'll push each other off, to the fact of eventually what I've decided is that not only am I going to have that platform there, but I'm going to through the box, which is where I have the sand in case they want to lay some eggs. And once they crawl through that, I'm going to build another platform and have another set of lights, so that they have more options, instead of there only being one light. And there is Zippy. She makes her appearance. Now we're going to say that Zippy's a girl. And then I say that because, like I said, their behaviors, she just seems to be a smaller version. So I think that she's a female. And I know there's a way that you can tell with their shell and the way you flip them over and everything like that, but I'm pretty confident in saying that I have the 3 females, and hopefully, they're not going to fight or, make each other miss, hopefully they don't have a hard time. But anyway, this is her, and she's smaller than all the rest, and evidently we disturbed her, but you can see that all I had to do was knock at the door a couple times, and she would come, and so what we're going to do is we're going to allow them to have their little night. I know it's terrible. I woke her up. Yep, and there she goes. There she goes. Right? She took off. I moved a little too fast. But you can see she will come right back because, they're used to me hand feeding them and stuff like that. So they'll come to me like little puppy dogs. They're expecting a meal, hopefully, or a treat. Of course, it's a little bit late at night. I'm not going to do that to them. Not that they wouldn't catch a cricket or something late at night, and who knows, maybe they hunt nocturnal and such. So, I try to provide as much as I can to them. And you can see that even poor Zippy has some, miscombobulations on the shell. Not as bad with her, like thinking that she's a younger version, so that her shell was still forming, and she didn't catch the level of mistreatment that the others did. We were hopefully able to avoid some of that with her, so her shell is actually pretty good shape. I'm making a lot of noise here, so we've caused some action up here. And here we were talking about the fighting, and here they'll demonstrate it for you. And this is the level of what they're fighting and stuff. So, but they'll just push each other out of the way. You can see they wave their legs at each other and wave their hands around, and they'll wave their heads around, but they don't, so far, none of them has ever bitten the other or such. Now they push each other out around, and I've actually had them push each other off the ledge, but as far as that goes, for the most part, they haven't perpetrated any real violence against each other up there, other than playing Queen of the Hill. I like to say King of the Hill, but we have to say Queen of the Hill because, it's a girls' tank. Like I say, I'm fairly certain that we have 3 females at hand, and she's our little girl, Zippy. I keep their names. Because, he had their, and they had gotten used to their names. Believe it or not, they're smart enough to know their own name. When I call out their name, they will come to me. And so they actually do know their name. So changing their names wouldn't have been a good thing to do for them. You know what I mean? Once again, like I said, you try to think of them and try to provide them at least some type of natural environment. Of course, that's catch-22 juxtaposition thing I'm talking about there, because of course we're looking at the center of my living room, and this is my television, and that is right under my TV. Now, the weight of the tank was at issue. We had thought about that because Meathead, of course, didn't think about how much weight he was putting on the floor there. And we got like a small Volkswagen here in the corner. So it's been talked about that maybe I would take these guys and move them into the basement, where of course they would be on the rock floor. And I thought about that, and thought about in some ways that would be good. you know, less destructive, I guess, for the house. But I think we're here on choices, and I think that we have that. We don't have a weight issue. We don't have any listing. Nothing's singing or anything stupid like that. But if I was to take the turtles and move them to the basement where no one is, and you know, you would think, well, that would be perfect for them. You know, no one there to bother them. But I think that they've gotten used to being front and center of attention. You know, they get everybody's attention, and believe it or not, these turtles, as you can see right here, because I'm standing here monologuing in front of them, they're paying rapt attention to me. You know, so moving those turtles, if we were to do that to the basement, I believe would be detrimental to them. And I believe that they actually benefit now from the socialization of being front and center all the time. Plus, it allows me to keep a better eye on them. I mean, you know, you certainly don't want a number of days going by when you don't see a turtle, or there's something wrong, and, you know, if you're not, you know, paying close attention to them, you know, things can slip by you, and you don't want that. So, you know, having them here, and I can pay attention to them, and they receive better care that way, and, you know, they seem to enjoy it themselves and get a lot out of it. Strangely enough, like, you know, there's certain people in the house that they like and they are very calm with, and then if someone else were to just walk in the room here, and it could be a certain person, and all three of them will jump for the hills, and you know, like they're running away from, you know, a monster or something. So they pick and choose, and then, you know, it is what it is. They either like you or they don't. So I don't know what it means when the turtles don't like you, but I have to like give it some thought. Like, my turtles don't like that person. I guess I should think about it. And here I've spent 20 minutes sitting here talking about these turtles, wasting my video, wasting everybody's time. So those are my turtles tonight, and they're enjoying their